Hello, welcome to the Daily Political Tarot Readings here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. And it's just, there's so much news to cover today. I'm here 365 days of the week at 12 noon Chicago time, or as close after as I can get on. And I take your 12 political questions out of the chat. I only do political readings. I don't do private readings, I'm afraid, either here nor elsewhere offline. So just political stuff. And you can just put your questions in all caps in the chat. It's kind of first come, first serve. But usually if you put your questions in between like 11:30 and noon Central Time in the US, that's usually when I scoop them up. And I have a bunch of questions left over from yesterday. There was all kind of craziness yesterday. So, all right. Had some great comments yesterday in response to talking about PTSD. Thank you. Thank you for all of your thoughtful sharing and comments and talking about the training you've had as a therapist. And it was just amazing. So thank you for that. Electrostorm, this is for you. This is for your bad day yesterday. Oh, chocolate and flowers and kitties. That makes me happy. All right. So, okay. 10% of my income from everything Black and Orange goes to feedingamerica.org, which supplies food to food banks across the country, and that's an ongoing thing. I'm sure I'm missing something. If you're watching this on replay, hello, you can go down in the description box. All the questions are listed out, and I'll timestamp them as I go. So you can, you can come and see live and join in the conversation and chatting. And we have a great community. People are really kind to each other. And otherwise, you can always just go down into the description box and just pick and choose when you're about this or that or the other, and just have the buffet. So you've got options. So, I'm glad you guys like the clocks. And once I put the clocks up, I thought, well, you got to go. Yeah, you have to. You have to. Anyway. Okie dokie. Let's jump right in. Okay, good old faithful here. Oh, and there was one comment yesterday. So that's the thing. When I can usually get to read the comments, I'm quite often in my personal account, not this account, because I don't read them when I'm on this computer. I read them while I'm walking. And my personal account is where I have a long history there, and I also pay for premium. So when I read through the comments, you don't usually get a heart, you'll get a thumbs up. So just to let you know that I am very much reading your comments, and they're important to me. And certainly thank you to the people who are donating through PayPal. Thank you. I read every one of those comments as well, very carefully. So, speaking of, before I jump in, tomorrow night, today is Friday, January 28th. Tomorrow night, Saturday, January 29th, is the patron-only tarot social from 8 to 10 p.m. Chicago time. We do this the last Saturday of every month, except if there's a major holiday or something. So that's tomorrow evening from 8 to 10. We usually end up talking a lot about spirituality, about how we view what's going on the other side. We talk a lot about history, about the far future, things like that. We have a whole bunch of things. We rarely talk about politics, but we talk about all kinds of stuff. So that is for patrons. It's not, I understand some of you cannot go there. That's totally fine. Just letting you know. The link to Patreon is in the description box, and we have a good time. That's all. All right. 5 minutes in. Okay, we're jumping right in here. So 5 minutes in isn't really a question. Oh my God. But I had to say something. You guys know that I'm a big book person. Like at the moment, actually, I'm finally going through my copies of the Wheel of Time. This is a good book. I'm enjoying it. I understand why there are so many of these and they're so popular. But anyway, I'm a big book person. So when Ivanka came out with her book, I was just like, really? If you've ever seen the inside of her book, it's just a bunch of quotes from other people, great big text, some photos. It is a complete waste of time, money, and I feel sorry for the trees who died without that. But anyway, proving once and for all that Trump doesn't know what a book is, Donald Trump specifically, but probably all of them. And I heard the quote. I heard the recording. Trump says his publisher, it was actually Donald Trump Jr., but anyway, Trump says his publisher can't find enough paper, ink, glue, or leather to make copies of his very successful photo book. Two things. One, the paper shortage is a thing. That is a real thing that's going around. There are certain company, actually, I believe Amazon is actually one of the first ones to say there's going to be a problem. We need to stock up. So if you publish through Amazon, actually, you're better off than most. But a lot of publishers, a lot of printers, they are having some trouble getting paper. So that's not completely made. There's like this much truth there, and then there's all the rest of it. Trump says his publisher can't find enough paper, ink, glue, or leather to make copies of his very successful photo book. When's the last time any of you saw a regular, not a journal, but like just a regular book for sale that was bound in leather? I can't think of one either. His book isn't. So proving once and for all that Donald Trump doesn't know what a book is. They can't find enough monks to sit with the sheepskin, with the vellum, and they can't get enough gall from the oak trees to carefully write out his books and carefully draw each of the precious photos. Monks. He needs more monks. With little drawings of rabbits and in the corners, snails. Oh boy, okay. Thank you, Tepper. So I agreed. Who was it who was saying, wait, because this is definitely worth. Oh, where was it? Oh, goodness, a lot's been said. Sorry about that. Yeah, there was. I'm so sorry. I can't give you. I'm sorry, I can't give you credit because I couldn't find it. But someone in the chat said, in other words, his book isn't selling. So what's going on with the Trump's book, which will go in his library, which is a printout of a bunch of tweets and copies of his books, and that's it. And it's all a store. Library. Oh yeah, working. All the monks, working on that. Well, no, actually, these aren't monks. I mean, that's someone working on, metal, doing metal work. Because you've got to get the pictures right. So you sit there on a bench with the Yes, Doxy Mom, how many copies did the RNC buy? 8 of Wands. Magician. Oh, yeah. Judgment. 5 of Pentacles. Queen of Swords. It has not sold. It did not. After the election, that was it. Wow. I wonder if this was his son's idea. There's so much coming against them. There's another way to make money. But the election day after that, people were just people were really not interested. And now he's got serious legal fees to pay. I would love to see his finances, just because I am curious what is going on here in the Trump, because normally, okay, the way his finances used to work, you could describe it best as a bucket, and it was filling with water, and that's money coming in. But there was a big hole in the bottom. So he got as much money, as much water pouring in as possible to try and keep it at a certain level, while he just sort of hung around in the middle of the water saying, I'm rich. See, I'm surrounded by money. But it's because this was coming in so quickly, and to make up for that giant hole going through the bottom. Now he still has huge amounts of money coming in, but he's acting like he has no, like the water level's like really low. It's like, what are you doing? Is it, did the oligarchs cut you off? He supposedly has some loans coming due, but I'm just going to 12:30. Let's just have a quick look. 12:30 at Trump's finances. Finances. Doxy Mom says his next book will be a coloring book with 4 pictures: man, woman, camera, TV. Pamela Bryant says, did everyone see Betty Bauer talking to Jesus about Ted Cruz? It was about 7 minutes long and totally hilarious. I don't know anything about it. And Joanne Hall just says broke. Mandy of Merrimack is saying frustrating. Trump's finances. Okay, the first thing that happened is I mentally heard Trump snort. Elaborate Patreon link is in the description box. Thank you, Lab, for asking that, Brett. Two of Cups. Oh, definitely people are finding out. 4 of Wands. Page of Swords. Queen of Swords. Star. Devil. Whatever it is, they are closing in. He used to just do his Mar-a-Lago thing, being the big bully. He could do whatever he wanted, but they are closing in. And it's only his stardom, but the whole thing is based on corruption. Entertainment only, according to the collective energy. We're going to find out. We are going to find out. So, Revolution Ricky says, I have a Motley Crue coloring book my wife got me as a gag for Christmas. Did it come with all black crayons? Yes, Electra Storm. The Bidens have a new kitty. That's question number 12. We're going to read on the kitty. Electra Storm, he kept afloat by money laundering. I think we're going to find out. We're going to find out one way or the other what's going on there. At 16. So you may have heard a little something, I don't know, something that came up somewhere, maybe below the fold somewhere on page 3 or 4, something about there possibly being an opening on the Supreme Court. I don't know, maybe you heard something like that in passing. It's not a big deal or anything. Anyway, Vanity Fair, their headline, Mitch McConnell is 1 week away from claiming Biden can't put someone on the Supreme Court the same year he started rewatching the original Gossip Girl. Yeah. And Joyce Vance tweeted, McConnell refused to confirm a justice in an election year 2016 and rushed one through after voting started in 2022. Looking forward to his straight-faced argument against confirming ahead of the midterm elections. The link is for tomorrow night, Lab Rat, December's latest one. I'll have to go check. I'll have to go check. This should be a post up, or at least going up, with the links to every one of them this year, and then there's separate posts with the link for tomorrow night, because I did the cover too. I'll double check. I'll see what happened. So this says, yep, we all saw that coming. So the question is, will McConnell come up with something? Because if he's just talking, whatever. But will McConnell or the Republicans come up with something to derail confirmation of Biden's pick for the Supreme Court? Thank you, Lab Rat. Mandy says yesterday happened. I'm sorry, I'm confused. All right, so Gary Atkins says they're going to make noise, but Biden will get his pick. I think so, but McConnell, those would be goalposts, and that would be him moving them every chance he gets, and even extra goalposts. Oh, that goalpost doesn't matter. This is the one that matters, and it's over here now. Mandy, why would you bring that up? I wasn't even thinking about anything like that. I'm sorry, this is really starting to, it's not just you. It's really starting to get to me. I mentioned yesterday that there's a particular thing that it's silly, and I try to get over it, but it hits me really hard that there is a simple common object everyone knows of that is triggering to me, because for some reason my brain just links it directly to trauma in my past. I wish I had not trusted some of you with that information. You just brought it up for the rest. There's some of you who just brought it up, kept bringing it up for the rest of the live stream yesterday, and then today. Why would you do that to somebody? I'm honestly about this close to just shutting down today's broadcast. And I will know to not trust. We're great. We're supposed to be a great community. Guess I better get over it. Stupid legal decisions. He gets what he wants for his people. He doesn't have the power at the moment. Luckily, the American people, and it does feel like there will be an African-American woman, or as McConnell infers, a not American, to, yes, will be on the Supreme Court. They'll get it through, but whoever this poor woman is, they're going to rake her over the coals like Gary Atkins. We can't let one apple spoil. Thank you. Thank you. Electra Storm, can you read on the nominees? I don't really want to. I'd rather look at when it's closer. There are various people being brought up. So, William Cottrell is saying Mitchie will get his. Okay. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Okay. All right. 22 minutes in. Michelle had a question yesterday. Will Biden add justice seats to the Supreme Court? So, because I tried to, thank you guys. I tried to gather questions together by topic. All right, so will Biden add justice seats to the Supreme Court? So not just a new, thank you guys. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Will Biden add justice seats to the Supreme Court? Biden might not. I might need to read on Willow next. Biden adds seats to the Supreme Court. Well, it's not like Trump and McConnell were playing by any rules. Page of Wands, Hermit, Seven of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. They looked at it, but I'm not seeing it. Just because it ends with 9. 9 Pentacles sitting pretty. That's the right-wing majority on the court. So I don't see him doing it. Maybe he will sometime in the future. Yes, let's read on Willow in just a second here. I just want to add to see get 3 more. Uncle Joe, will you add more seats to the Supreme Court at any point in your presidency? Any point. Last 2 days. Last 2 days in office. Chew on that, McConnell. 7 of Swords. Because they stole seats. The other side stole seats. Queen of Wands. Judgment. 9 of Swords. I just don't. I don't think so. And I also think this court is going to. I think that their decision on gutting RV versus W is, yeah, when they rule on, is it the Mississippi law, the Texas law, whatever it is, I think they're really going to they're going to motivate a whole lot of voters to come out in November. So thank you, Catherine. Thank you. Okay, so 2630. Biden's welcome new cat Willow to the White House. Oh, Willow, kitty, beautiful kitty. Electra Storm, I think it's the women's rights issue in Mississippi and Texas that's going to push. So, all right. So, let's pick up a picture, shall we? We'll have a look at the kitty. Oh, there are lots of kitties. Okay, we have lots of pictures of the kitty. Okay, let's look at the kitty pictures. All right, which is more like 2730. Okay, so Biden's welcome Willow. All right, just make sure you guys can see. Yeah, okay. So meet Willow, the Biden's new, very presidential-looking cat. Aw, it's a little toy there. That's very sweet. Oh, Willow is beautiful. The cat is named after the First Lady's hometown of Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. It will be the first to live in the White House since President George W. Bush and First Lady Bush's black cat, India. Last month, the Bidens welcomed Commander, a 4-month-old purebred German Shepherd puppy. In June, the Bidens' eldest dog, Champ, died. Oh, meanwhile, Major, whom they adopted from a shelter in 2018, was rehomed after struggling to adapt to a busy White House environment. And it feels like he's happier. But anyway. By the looks of it, Willow's having no trouble adjusting. Is a gray short-haired tabby. Willow made an impression on Dr. Biden in 2020 when she jumped up on the stage and interrupted her remarks during a campaign stop. Seeing their immediate bond, the owner of the farm knew that Willow belonged with Dr. Biden. So it's a girl cat. Look at Willow there. Oh, she's beautiful. She's absolutely beautiful. Oh, that looks like a picture we haven't seen. Yes, I will fix it next time. Meet Willow. Oh, look at that. 2-year-old tabby. Checking it out. Checking things out. Looking out the window. All right, that was adorable. That was absolutely adorable. Oh. Let's have... Electra Storm said she's in charge now. Yep. Deborah Murphy's saying Willow looks like the queen of the White House. Yes. Deseret says drop dead gorgeous. Facing, look at her pretty eyes. Absolutely. Phyllis Rowan says, I like Willow's vibe. She just jumped on stage at Dr. Biden's event like, I'm here and ready to serve, Miss Jill. Oh. mean, they back in the day, they always had to have cats around because it was how to keep the mice population in control at the White House. But she's adorable. Gina says she has attitude. She's definitely just living her best life. Looking out the window, checking things out, looking around that corner. That was great. What's going on? The president, Joe Biden, he likes the kitty too. He likes the kitty. He's got a soft spot for the kitty. He's got a soft spot for animals. I think he's got a soft spot in general. Hippie Sue says, beverage everyone. Oh, thank you. And Doxy Mom says she will also teach the new puppy how to respect kitties. Linda McMurphy says, does she have her own Secret Service unit? Well, if she was a farm cat, then I don't think a puppy's going to be much problem for her. Okay. Oh, there was a... Go. Put that back up. The kitty. Sitting pretty. Playing with toys. Years of happiness. I don't want to start any controversies between cat and dog people, because there are also people who have both. It doesn't have to be either or. But after the issues they've had with dog training and all of the things involved in this, she just shows up and it's like, okay, where's my litter box? All right, where's my when you bring in a cat into a new place, a new home, a new anything, first place you put them down is in their litter box. So it's like, that's your base. That is, all of your knowledge about this whole area this will be the core of it. And so they know where their litter box is. And, get her a cat tree, a few beds. She's happy. She likes to play. People like to play with her too. I imagine she will be contained in the residence most of the time, but she'll bring a smile to people's faces when she's allowed to roam the building. She'll bring a smile to people's faces. It's very sweet. That's good. That's very good. So, Gina, cat tree in the Oval Office. Well, I would. Faye, and a scratch behind the ears. Yes. William Cottrill says the cat was a blessing for the Bidens, but to the people of the United States, because it will give us joy and a great night's smile, which we lack these days. Electrostorm, can you contain a cat, though? Serious question. It's still an ongoing issue with Pumpkin. Brave Sir Alfred of Pumpkin. I took the trash out the other night, and I guess I hadn't pulled the door all the way closed, even though it's, it was literally like 5 degrees Fahrenheit outside. And for those of you who live in Celsius countries, sensible Celsius countries, 0 Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's 32. A comfortable room, like our regular thermostats are set at like 68. 68 in the winter, 72 in the summer. They're usually where our kind of roughly where thermostats are set inside the house. 32 degrees is freezing. It was like 5 degrees. So anyway, I was coming back to taking the trash out. He runs out onto the driveway, and I'm just like, and he starts heading over so he can smell the bush over there, and he starts, but the nice thing is, even when he occasionally will like rush out, he doesn't run away. He wants to smell things, and he will eventually just stop long. He won't really run and I'll catch up with him. And then I scoop him up very gently. I hold him, so he can have his back paws down here and his front paws up here. And so he's very dignified. He's not one of those flip them on their, neither of my cats are a flip them on their back, carry them like a baby thing. No. So very dignified, pick them up, hold him. And I carry him back and he complains the whole way. He doesn't try to scratch me, but he complains. I should be allowed to go outside. It's like, oh, and I bring him inside and I let him go inside and I close the door and he's still complaining at me. And I'm just like, I love the sound of you complaining because you're still here and alive to complain. We almost lost you, you big knucklehead. So the good news is, yes, he doesn't go. But I'd have a cat free in the Oval Office, but that's just me. And anyone who would say that's ridiculous or undignified or whatever, tough. So anyway. All right. 38. The kitty. All right, so Glenna Miles had a question. We've got 2 Canadian questions. Canada. We have 2 questions for you. One is from Glenna Miles. The Canadian PM was exposed to COVID again. Will he be okay? Okay, I will definitely read on it here. I had a look at the news. It said that he was exposed, but he took he did take a test and it was negative because it can take a few days for things to kick in. He's quarantining for 5 days. He's not showing any symptoms. So, but let's see if he's going to be okay. Because, these things sneak up on you. Hello, Trudeau. He's just kind of there. Joanne Hall says he's hiding from the truckers. Oh, that's the next question. 6 of Swords. This can be a going away, quarantining, hiding. Normally it'd be like an 8. The 8 of Swords, a woman all bound up. But that could also be a forced. This is more like a voluntary. Anyway, the card for the reading is something which would say, yeah, we're just quarantining. But let's see what happens after that. Ace of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, 8 of Cups, Judgment, and Insult to Injury. I think he's going to be okay. Then we had a lot of tests. And even if he became sick, it feels like he would get really good medical care anyway. But it's more like with the truckers or what have you. He's got various things to worry about. If anything, this kind of does give him a nice little breather. Sort of. Obviously, with cameras and what have you, he can still work when he's isolated, but I'm not getting towers. I'm not getting the 5 of Pentacles, which is the traditional card for sickness. Hippie Gypsy is saying, I would love to at least visit Canada. I'm not sure they would keep me. Thank you, Wrestling Reads. Thank you. Appreciate that. I am sorry to say I have not crossed the border myself. Lived in a lot of different places, but I've neither been to Canada nor Mexico. Which, as someone with a Sagittarius stellium, I find is a failing. But I have a feeling someday I will. I have a feeling someday I'll be visiting Canada and I will love it. Okay. 42. Here we go. The Freedom Convoy. Oh, you've got one of those too, huh? Oh, Freedom Convoy in Canada ends in Ottawa this Saturday. Fringe. I think this was a typo in the original headline. Fridge groups are calling for a January 6th-like event. Fridge groups. Ooh, could you grab the mayo while you're in there? Fringe. I meant fringe, but not like fridge groups better. Firescope, I grew up in Chicago. Are you too young to remember the Buffalo Ice Cream Parlor? Yeah, I don't remember, but I didn't grow up here all the time. I was here in and out. So Alicia, I love that. Oh yes, the Canadian nutsies. Can I steal that? Can we all use that? Glenn and Miles say, I wish it was fridge groups. Mind you, it is very cold. So Canadian fringe groups are fridge groups because it's cold. All right, so I should take pity on the poor people watching on replay. 43. There we go. All right, so the Freedom Convoy in Canada, truckers calling for a January 6th-like event on the Canadian government. Thank you, Marby. Thank you. Catherine Rodriguez says, not sage, but you can't go wrong with basil and shamrocks. I like it. Electrostorm says, sorry, Canada. We tried to keep our crazy to ourselves in the U.S. Oh, Wrestling Reads. No, that's wonderful. Thank you. I'm grateful for you. All right, so meanwhile, in our country, a Tennessee school board, has banned the book Mouse. Women are losing their rights across the South. On and on and on. And so, and we had Trump in office. And we have his leftovers still in Congress. And we have Tuckio Rose Carlson. So I'm not saying they're not serious. I think they are. What I am saying is, really? This is what you want? Really? Ace of Cups. This can be a card of liberals and liberal ideas kind of raining on authoritarian parades. All right, I got 2 cards for the beginning. Page of Pentacles. Eight of Swords. They're financially hurting, is what's going on there. And people do more extreme stuff. The more scared they get, the 7 of Cups. Knight of Swords, Hermit, and 5 of... Well, they're definitely going for this. This is the center card because these 2 are together. So this is your center card. They're definitely going for it, but they're listening to a pack of lies because they're scared. And this feels like some part of the government just being like, okay, I'm going to listen to you. What do you have to say? Just being like, okay, I'm here, I'm listening. And it kind of, but it doesn't go away entirely because people are still feeling scared and like they can't feed their families. But it feels like the government's at least better at crisis negotiations. Besides, also just for what it's worth, I did look at Canada's chart, and your country wasn't... the chart for your country doesn't even come into effect for 70, 80 years after the US chart. Your Pluto overturn is nowhere in sight. It's way down the line. So if you're thinking there's going to be some big overthrow of the Canadian government, meh. Yes, mouse. M-A-U-S. It's a German word for mouse, as in M-O-U-S-E. Fool. Desperate people listening to idiots. 10 of Pentacles, Sun. Yes, people who are having trouble putting food on their table do listen to the person calling themselves a billionaire when they're not. And they know best. Please. There's a white card of white supremacy. There's the government. 10 of Swords and Empress. It looks like it's basically the economic situation is going to continue to be a thorn in the side, both for these people and for people in general all over. I mean, this isn't just happening in one country. The far right, they love pouring on Biden about supply chain issues and all of this, and it's so terrible, and what, the rest of the world's just hunky-dory? There is an aftermath to pandemics. So it takes a long time to recover, not just from the illness, from the economic damage too. Anyway. All right, so 50-30. Here we go. Linda McMurtry was asking, will Florida's tourism industry tank because of right-wing antics? Florida. It's so nice around something about Florida that isn't directly related to these morons. Did you guys see the video of the acting Surgeon General, whatever his title is, Secretary of Health and Human Service? I don't know what he's called. I can't remember what his official title. The head medical person in Florida, in the Florida government. Oh my gosh, the hearing. He would not answer the question if vaccines are effective. It was embarrassing to listen to him waffle. And the Democrats got up and left. Hang on, Faye. Let me look at this and then I'll pull up that information on that book. So, Florida's tourism industry. There are some people staying away. Some people just staying home, period. But, I mean, honestly, if I absolutely was going to go on a vacation in the United States of America, specifically the continental U.S., I wouldn't go anywhere populous. I wouldn't go anywhere, and I wouldn't go to a hugely red state. I just wouldn't. Ace of Wands, DeSantis and whatnot, just beating their right-wing nonsense over people's heads. Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Swords. Temperance. How is the tourism industry in Florida going to go? Well, DeSantis kept stuff open, so there's a trickle. Republicans are trying to be so business forward, but their stance is extreme. There is no temperance. I'm not getting a tower, but it's definitely hurting the Florida tourism industry. Death count. People not allowed. It's like you're not allowed to have mask mandates. People on the far right walking around thinking this is some big victory. It's not good. I'm afraid the tourism industry isn't good. It's not gone. At least the boat-based ones will survive long term. I think climate change is going to be the thing. I think Florida flooding is going to be the real. It's going to be brutal. Sorry. Wish I had better news. All right, let me go look this up. Actually, let's look at it. It is 55:30. All right, 55. 30 mouse. I'll pull it up and I will show you. Yes. Some of you didn't saying you do not know what it is. No, actual MAS. Do. All right. All right. Link is in the description box, and let me share the image. All right. This is Mouse. The Pulitzer Prize-winning Mouse tells the story of Vladek Spiegelman, a Jewish survivor of Hitler's Europe, and his son, a cartoonist coming to terms with his father's story. Mouse approaches the unspeakable through the diminutive. Its form, the cartoon, the Nazis are the cats, the Jews are mice, shocks us out of any familiarity. A lingering sense of familiarity, and succeeds in drawing us closer to the bleak heart. It's a haunting tale within a tale. Vladek's harrowing story of survival is woven into the author's account of his tortured relationship with his aging father. Against the backdrop of guilt brought by survival, they stage a normal life of small arguments and unhappy visits. But looking inside, make sure you guys can see it. Yeah. You can, the survivor's tale. And it's told in this kind of graphic novel, comic book form. So, and it goes through the this is how it's told. All right, so that is Mouse. Let me see how far into this story. Okay, so certainly a harrowing tale, but infuriating. So what's going to happen with publication, banned books? That sort of nonsense. Toxie Mom says banned book clubs are all the rage in the South right now. Electra Storm says that was in the school library or taught in school. Krista March is asking, do these people just walk through libraries looking for things which offend them so they can toss it out? I mean, it is priceless advertising. Absolutely. Who was that? Polly Wanda. Yeah, it is priceless advertising. So the book, Mouse, and banned books in the U.S. It's fiction, people. That's one thing that, you know, Neptune returned to the sign of Pisces. Neptune, in astrology, the planet, it rules art, anything that doesn't have form. Anything formless, like mist. You put something in water, the oceans, it will dissolve. But it's also spirituality, art, and lies. So it was nice when Neptune entered Pisces in 2012 because it was like CGI, and the Avengers came out, the Avengers movie came out. And all this kind of stuff. But there's reality and there's not reality. And as a spiritual person who writes fiction, it amazes me every time. I'm like, okay, this is real. This is not real. How come I can tell the difference and you can't? I don't get that. Oh, jeez. Talk about banned books in the chat. Ace of Wands. Yeah, far right. Four of Swords. Tower. King of Swords. Ace of Pentacles. It is a gift. All of this nonsense is an absolute gift to the authors of these banned books. And I'll make them a lot of money. Thank you very much. Trying to ban the swords can be communication, can be voting, legal stuff. Ban the book. Silence. But it feels like that's their First Amendment rights as well. This is only going to go on for so long, and really what you're doing is you're just making it is the best advertisement. So, really? Ask Me Third Eye says, Tropic of Cancer. Henry Miller read that one at 16. I read everything I could lay my hands on. Even when I lived in at the time, quite a small town in West Virginia. I was down at that local library, and it blew my mind that in this small town in West Virginia, that literally we had the only, it was tiny, but we had the only mall for a 4-hour drive in any direction. And in the early 80s, that meant something. Our local library someone had donated basically a whole bunch of translated works of Jean Cocteau. And I remember at 12, I found those in the library, and I was like, huh. And I started reading. I read. It's interesting. Everything I could lay my hands on. So, Shockwave 43 says, breaking news, Abbott blames TikTok for human trafficking crisis at the border. We're going to go directly to GM Dave saying, looking for the mothership to bring logic to Earth. Yeah. Shockwave 43, this is Benny G, changed handle name. Oh, okay, Benny. Good grief. Catcher in the Rye. I've never read it. 105. And there are a lot of books I believe I've read, but I remember so little about them. I know I've read Lord of the Flies, but I can remember it was nothing. I just remember I didn't like it. I read 1984 quite a bit, but then again, it was coming up on 1984. So. right. Matter of fact, I was talking to Sarah the other day, my friend Sarah. I'm about to read on is DeSantis involved with Gaetz, so forgive me for digressing. Before I jump into that cesspool. But there was something going on and with one of her kids, and it was something about it's like should lose access to her cell phone because of something at school. Not something like she'd done wrong, but there was some teacher who was doing some. I honestly, I didn't understand the whole thing, but it was just like, oh no, a teenager, you're losing your cell phone. And I'm just thinking, oh my gosh. I know I was pretty late going, but I didn't have a cell phone until the middle aughts, till like, I don't know, 2005. Everybody in my family had a cell phone before I did. So yeah, I was in my 30s, and I had, you guys know, we're all of an age, or not all, but most of us are of an age, but we didn't, I had my big red hardback Merriam-Webster dictionary that I would use a lot, and some readings. Okay, good. All right. Hang on. I'm going to blow my nose before I sneeze. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I do feel better. Oh, Alexander Dumas. Linda Kingsley. Absolutely. I loved that. Loved, even when I worked at a bookstore, when teenagers would come in and they'd say, I have to read a classic book. And I'd say, oh, any chance you can choose your own? And about half the time they'd say, yeah. And I'd be like, okay, good. Come with me. And Alexander, Man in the Iron Mask, no, Count of Monte Cristo, Jane Eyre. Those are the two big ones that were most. Or some people were like, okay, can you read do you actually like to read? Or do you just want something you can just get through quickly? And then it'd be like, okay, choose something short. But if they were like, no, I like to read, it'd be like, oh, there you go. Some reads Autumn when we reading together. Oh, Beowulf is awful. Oh my gosh, I despised it. It's a shame that survived through the centuries. Earliest written work of fiction or something, or whatever it was, earliest something. It's like, couldn't you say something nicer? And then they made a movie about it, and then they put a completely naked Angelina Jolie in it with flesh high heels. It's like, oh, I didn't think they could make this worse, and they did. All right, I'll go into the gunk now. Is DeSantis involved with Gaetz? I haven't heard anything about them partying together, but you never know. Oh, thank you, Electrostorm. Grandma Rose, I'm not the world's biggest fan of Covenant. I'm struggling. I'll be honest. The back looked great. Blurb looked great. Where are you, DeSantis? Stress. It feels like a pressure cooker. Which isn't exactly a stretch of the imagination, but this isn't like a Trump, I do what I want, to heck with all of you. This is, he understands more of the push and pull of politics, and you know, they always say that if you are an expert at something, you make it look effortless. He's got some effort going on there. All right, 7 of Pentacles, fruits of labor. He's hoping that will help propel him to higher office. He's quite serious about the higher office thing. 9 of Cups, 3 of Swords, Queen of Swords, 4 of Cups, Page of Cups. No. He might know somebody who knows somebody. He certainly knows Gaetz, but this is very specific to Gaetz. There's no partnership here. But what Gaetz did, according to the collective energy, according to the cards, entertainment only, was heinous. And I see Gaetz. I don't see DeSantis. Linda Kingsley says Stone was with Gaetz. Stone was with Gaetz. Was Trump with Gaetz? Is there a connection? I don't think so, but let's have a look. Thank you, Miss Cat. Kitty treats for boo-boos and Kitty and Pumpkin. Thank you. Most appreciated. Thank you. All right, 114. 114. Trump and Gaetz. Oh, by the way, have you read the part 2 Vanity Fair article about Prince Andrew? Part 1 was harrowing, but part 2, all of his talk about, oh, I was at this pizza birthday party, something, something, something. Well, it turns out where Prince Andrew was said to be with Epstein and Maxwell and all of that was close to where he lived, relatively close to where he lived, and plenty of time. And then there's someone else saying that someone who worked at the gate who was like, was I working that night? Because I could have sworn there was one night somewhere there where he was like rushing to get back in. He was in the car with his security or something, and he yelled like, open the gate, you fool, or something. So he went to go look back at his service, record. Was he working that night? Classified. The whole who was working in there, national security. Really? All right, what about Trump and Gaetz? Different crowd. A younger crowd. Some of this stuff is so illegal that you get like something flourishes for a while until people start getting caught, and then some younger, different group over here starts something. 6 of Swords. 2 of Wands. 9 of Wands. Wheel of Fortune. Judgment. Ace of Swords. This is all about Gaetz. Well, and Trump is going to have his own issues coming. But this is Gaetz communication right there. And is it Venmo? The payment thing? Is that the right one? Live by the Venmo, die by the Venmo. But Trump has his own stuff coming, but they don't feel connected directly. Not saying any of them are stellar, lovely human beings who I would want anything to do with, but Venmo, yes, thank you. I appreciate that you saying that, Jeffrey Thompson, but I wasn't thinking about it anymore. But there you bring it up again. You know what? I'm just gonna have to get over it. I'm just gonna have to get over it. I should have known better. I should have known better. I just thought it was a nice community where if you knew there was something, if there was a particular word, if there was a particular thing that upset me, and I told you that you wouldn't bring it, you wouldn't type it in, you wouldn't put it in the chat. I'm just gonna have to get over it, or I'm gonna have to quit my job here. My own fault. My own fault. Shouldn't have admitted to it. Should not have admitted to it. 1/18/30. I'm not looking at the chat. I'm just gonna answer the questions. 1/8. Okay, so we're gonna be more like 1/19. Why are we not seeing more of VP Kamala Harris? Why are we not seeing more of Kamala Harris? Why are we not seeing more of Kamala Harris? Seven of Swords. Well, it's a thief card, or an underhanded card. Knight of Cups. Fighting a good fight. 10 of Cups. Accomplishments in the Biden administration so far. 9 of Wands, Moon, and Strength. It's tough right now, but honestly, it feels a little bit like Biden's trying to protect her a little bit. Because if she wants to, until things improve, like inflation and what have you, If he really wants her to get elected after him, he can wait until he has particular successes and then just be like, or his own numbers improve and be like, I couldn't have done it without her, and she should be elected after me. Right now, it's actually kind of good that she's not, because she's not being as closely associated with inflation numbers and so I think that's, I don't know how conscious that is, but there definitely seems to be an element of Biden's numbers are not good right now. So, but Andre at Astrology Alert said that that Biden's chart, the influences on his chart are getting better. So his numbers should pick up. And I think they will too, just when a whole bunch of stuff starts coming out. Okay, thank you guys. 6 of... She's also been tackling some hard stuff, like looking at immigration and things like that. I mean, it isn't no win, but it's pretty low win. Ace of Wands, 4 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles. It's just trying to, yeah, it feels like just keep her separate until it gets closer to when Biden's going to leave. That's what it feels like. And a lot of it's to protect her, but it's also for her to really get her own network set up, get her feet underneath her, see what the job entails in more detail. How is she feeling about this? How is she feeling about not being front and center? And I can't remember who it was, but one of the late night comedians was saying that whenever you see them together, Biden will be giving a speech, he'll be standing at the lectern, he'll be speaking, and Kamala Harris is like over there, but she's in a black pantsuit, high heels, and a black mask, and he said she looks like either security or like a character out of Mortal Kombat, but she just looks really badass. It's like, yes, which is cool. Working. 6 of Wands, Ace of Cups, Queen of Pentacles. It's just a lot's just going on like she's an island. She's got a lot to do. So, Joanne is saying that vice presidents are usually quiet. That's true. And some we wish had been more quiet than others. Linda Kingsley says, so how's she going to get experience by keeping her away? That's stupid. Oh, she has lots of experience getting flack. I'm not saying it's the ideal way to do things. It feels like it's not a good time. It feels like it's not a good time for her to be front and center. So, okay. Debsy says, I'm still tickled that there's a kitty in the White House. Made my day. And beautiful. Absolutely beautiful kitty. Joanne, yes, Pence was a cardboard cutout, but he always is. All right, 125.30. Oh, this is infuriating. 125.30. Okay. Sharon had a question. Now, Sharon's question was, will the new Arizona bill be successful? Lawmakers want to revert to a 1958 style voting practice. See, what I found didn't say anything about like 1958, but there's this new bill out there, sponsored by more than a dozen Republican lawmakers in Arizona. Bill's lead sponsor is GOP Representative John Fillmore. Under his proposal, you ready for this? Lawmakers would meet to either accept or reject election results following primary and general elections. If legislators reject the results, any qualified voter may file an action in the Supreme Court to request a new election be held. Unquote. Fillmore said lawmakers should possess authority as representatives of the people to review the vote count. But, he said, if there's a problem, we're not trying to overturn anything. We're just trying to put the skids on it and say, this has to be adjudicated. Really? Really? Viralized as shocking and so un-American. Oh, yeah. John Fillmore, GOP Arizona representative, state representative, John Fillmore, and over a dozen GOP lawmakers. So, how are you going to do with this whole, we're going to overturn the election if we don't like the results? You would also say that if there are recounts, it has to be done by hand, blah, 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 blah. And boy, doesn't that put a wrinkle in the timing of things. Velma's mama, I'll be a troll slayer. Oh, thank you, Velma's mama. All right, Arizona, these pinheads. Hang on a second, let me go in here. Thank you. Let me refresh this page. Thank you, Sheila. Where was it? Here we go, Velma's mama. Thou art a moderator, and thank you. Okay. Jeffrey Thomas saying she's a gorgeous kitty in a loving home. Yes, absolutely. All right. 276 upvotes. 300 would be nice, but it's up to you. Page of Pentacles. They're pinheads. Two of Cups. Six of Wands. Tower. Four of, okay. I have a stolen video. Please let me know what's going on. Do you have a link? I'd appreciate it. And please report the video too. Yeah. Usually it's the first half of February where my sense of self just gets beaten down, but apparently we're starting early this year. Two of Cups. I don't like it. This is voting. If the Republicans don't like the outcome, blow it up. We're not going to accept your things. We do what I want. And the thing is that the only thing a voter can do is say, call for another election. Okay, how many elections are you going to have? Over how many elections? So if that election doesn't come out the way you want it, so you have another one? How many do you just keep having elections until you get a result you want? This is ridiculous. Thank you, Lori. I will file a copyright strike. Thank you. 3 of you can always if you don't mind, you can always send me a message on Twitter. That's the easiest way to get hold of me. Please. Links in the description box to Twitter from me. 3 of, yeah, that's going to be their plan. Page of Pentacles. The King of Slime is the inspiration that we don't have to listen to this. It doesn't matter if we don't have power. We can just say no. That's what he did. That's what the orange straw did. How red is the Arizona legislature, guys? Do you guys know? Because I'm not liking this. I don't know what they did in 1958 electric storm, to be honest, but I looked up what they are doing. Thank you, Rasson Reeds. Rasson Reed says, I think it's pretty red. Okay, Joanne Hall says, January 6th just subpoenas 14... something. Thank you for being here, Judy. I appreciate you. Thank you, Lynn Halliday. Thank you. Wow. Killing democracy. Kill it dead, huh? Gonna try. King of Pentacles. That would be all your Republicans. Biden in the center. Or Democrats, but feels specifically like Biden. And then the people wedded, the Republicans wedded to Trump's way of doing things against the tyranny of actual democracy. If you will, is there any way you could send me a message on Twitter with the link? I'd appreciate it, or the information, please. Because the problem is you can't put a link in. Yeah, maybe you can. Can you put a link in the? No, maybe you don't want to. I don't think you can put in comments until after the video's over. Anyway. Oh, Kevin, thank you. Thank you. I don't use Twitter. Okay. We'll work something out. Thank you. Electra Storm says, I think federal voting rights laws will stop it. I hope. Oh, Doxy Mom, all the best to you. Absolutely all the best. Email. Work something out. Work something out. Republicans have power in the states. Federal voting rights. It's not going to happen for a while. I'm hoping it happens next year, that we get enough Democrats in at the midterms, because that's what I've been getting. But right now, Arizona could put this into place and really try to do some damage at the midterms. Oh, thank you. I'll have a look for that. Yuck. Okay. So Arizona. Yes, authoritarianism, the emperor. Thank you, Catherine. I will report them. Page of Wands, Empress, Ten of Pentacles. That's the message from the far right. Sitting pretty. Our representatives need to be represented. Therefore, if we think something's wrong with the election, I don't like this. Thank you, Debsy. I do not like this at all. Arizona. Really? We're going to go there? Knight of Pentacles. Devil. All right. Well, I wish my brain is saying it's America. That isn't going to happen here. The cards are not saying that. $137.30. Saw this this headline came up. I believe it was Kristen from Uncover the News. Thank you. And I started this out by adding, please tell me this is going to be a problem. News. Scandal erupts in Spokane. Spokane. I think it's Spokane, Washington. Spokane. How do you say it? I will if you will. Thank you. Spokane. I haven't lived in the Northwest, so I don't know for sure. Please let me know. That's very weird, Beth Cat. Spokane. Okay, Spokane, Washington. Thank you. Scandal has erupted in Spokane as prosecutor's wife, Spokane, a prosecutor's wife declares herself a, quote, proud white nationalist. Links in the description. But let's pull that out. Copy. All right. Well, now. Share. Thank you for being here. Oh, come on. I said share screen. Here we go. I might have to drop the overlay. No, I can probably still see it. Scandal erupts in Spokane as prosecutor's wife declares herself a proud white nationalist. I just threw up a little, but we're okay. All right, moving on. The wife of a Washington state prosecutor was busted again for using racial slurs on social media. Leslie Ann Haskell, the wife of Spokane County prosecutor Larry Haskell, typed out the N-word. Oh boy. My husband is the Spokane prosecutor, and he's the last line of conservative armor that the county has. Oh boy. She reacted to a New York Post story. MSNBC's Joy Reid said conservatives would trade tax cuts to openly say the N-word. I think I heard Joy Reid say that. By declaring the TV host was the true definition of the word, which she typed out. I like people. I do. In general, most people, they're just trying to get through the day. Really, they are. People get really excited about, just even like hitting a bunch of green lights in a row when they're driving. Most people, they don't want much in life. They really don't. If you give them, they get a bigger scoop of ice cream or guacamole on something, or you're handing out some cookies and they get a cookie. People, they don't ask for much. Most people are just trying to get through the day. And I like most people. I also have Venus, which is what and how you love. I have it in Sagittarius, which is what's over, meeting people. And I have it on my descendant. It's in my 7th house, which is one-on-one partnership. But oh my gosh, I find it sad when I have moments where I just lose my faith in humanity just for a moment, where it's just like, well-being and health, saying my word, these people have no shame. Joanne says, true. Most people are just trying to be safe and go home. Exactly. Russell Reed says it's not enough to not be racist. You've got to be anti-racist and shame these people into oblivion. They feel too comfortable. You've kind of got a point. Allison Jacobs says, lately in my world, it's been cats welcome, people tolerated. So, I like that, Allison. Thank you. And you have cute. Allison just got 2 kittens. They're so cute. And she's in Hawaii, and she named them after Hawaiian, at least one Hawaiian goddess. Oh, they're just adorable. Hermit. Yeah, you should be shoved back in your racist closet. That's true. Doxy Mom Trump made it look okay to crawl out from under their rocks. Send them back. Magician, world, devil, right at the center. 7 of Cups and King of... Yeah, it's because of Trump. He's right there. Lies, garbage, corruption. Proud white jerk. The world should what? The whole world should die from a lack of vitamin D. I mean, it's just stupid. It's so stupid, and it's infuriating. So, but is that's what's allowed it? But is anything going to happen to her, or is this going to? Deania says your feelings might be affecting the cards just a wee bit. Smite them, girly. Five of... Oh no! If there's equality, there might actually be equality. Oh no. 5 of Cups. Let's blame all that we see as wrong in the world on people who aren't lily white, not having absolute power and entitlement. That's the dumbest thing ever. Oh boy. White supremacy. She's in for some grief, but there are these... Pluto's gone through Capricorn. Pluto is nearing the end of Capricorn, but it's still like 25 degrees. It still has a whole other like 4 degrees before it even starts going into Aquarius. And Pluto is so far out, it moves very slowly. Very, very, very slowly. And Capricorn is all about status. That's one of the big things with Capricorn. The symbol is the mountain goat, where it's one of those the horns in the really fuzzy, and then you look and there's a sheer cliff, and there's a piece of rock like this big, like halfway up the cliff, and that's where the mountain goats are just standing there like, what? It's higher than you. Britain, actually specifically England, is Capricorn. And that's where we get a lot of the cliches. Aristocrats in old piles, which is a big house, status. And yeah. So Pluto is basically digging through Capricorn and kicking up everything about status. One of the biggest things Pluto did was go through Capricorn and look around and say, okay, let's take someone who in the past absolutely no way could possibly become president, and let's make him president, and let's have a real talk about status, and we'll choose this incredibly intelligent, emotionally regulated, decent human being who is not problematic, and we'll make him president, and we'll give him a beautiful wife who's also intelligent and decent and good, and we'll just watch all these people who are so stuck on status. We'll just watch their heads explode like popcorn. And that's kind of what happened. So this is part of Pluto and Capricorn. The scum being kicked up into the air, so the sun can kill it. I don't know. It becomes visible and we can deal with it. So I don't know, if you will. I'm afraid I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go in just a second, but first I'm going to go disturb the kitty. Hold, please. Oh, sweetie. Come here. Oh, come here. You're so good. Oh, you're so good. Yes, you are. Hi. Hello, precious. How are you? He said I was fine and warm. I was fine and warm, and I was sleeping. Oh, I was so happy. There you go. I was so happy. I was all happy and warm. Oh, you're so good. Oh, there's a boo-boo. You're so good. You're such a good kid. Good boy. Oh, good boy. Good kid. You doing okay? He's like, I was warm and happy. I was so warm and happy. Yes, I was. He's like, no, I want to get down. I was warm and happy. Okay, you went back down. All right, well, that's going to do it for me for today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thought we could use a little fuzzy cuteness. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. All right, guys, it is 1:59 p.m. here in Chicago. Oh, bless. Whoever needs that ambulance. Bless. It is 1:59 here in Chicago, and So it's almost 2:00. At 4:00, I will be over on the Book Art Media channel doing daily creative sprints. You are always welcome. Other than that, I will be right back here tomorrow. I'm here at noon Central Time every day, or soon after as I can get on here, but noon. And then tomorrow evening, Saturday evening, will be the 2-hour patron tarot social. It's usually about a dozen of us. It's definitely less than 20. And we just talk about anything but politics, really. But you've got a reader for 2 hours, and let's talk about the world, the universe, and everything. All right. Yeah, but I'll be right back here tomorrow. All right, you guys take care. And I'll be fine. I'll be fine. And you guys are awesome. There are better days. Jean A., you stole my tagline, which I love. So I hope you guys use it. There are better days ahead. Don't forget. All right. Take care. I'll see you later today, or I'll see you tomorrow.